We took him through the activities of every department in the building here, so he understands how the departments all put together. We took him through our financial woes of last year. Of course, last year we projected 23 million rand loss, but on the back of not raising 130 million. Now, the cause of that 130 million was twofold. One, the results of the EPG, where we failed, and the government banning us from hosting mega international events. And two, the absence sponsorship for the role. Now, the absence sponsorship for the role on its own was 130 million. What happened then? The market saw this as negative. They thought South African rugby was at odds with government. We were never at odds with government. We had a good working relationship with the previous minister, and we got a good working relationship with us. So we're not at odds. We also took the minister, we briefed him on the issues around the Eastern Cape, around border and the liquidation of the EP Kings. Put him explained that to him. We took him through the sports excellence schools we have in our country. You know about the sports excellence. We have about 54 schools that we have kids and we fund those kids to stay in there. We also took him to the South African Rugby Education Foundation, which we have kids in the Rugby Castile, which are trained and educated at the same time. We took the minister through the Springboks and issues the Springboks faced last year, the wars we had last year. You know, in 1995, 4 captains resigned and a host of experienced players shipped off to overseas. Last year we played with 24 young players and a squad of 31. So we explained that to him. We also explained to him the reason for our endeavors. We had those coaching endeavors last year. Now for the last 15 years we never collaborated with each other. And the basic things, the basic skills, like attack and defense, our exits, the way we drive and stuff, we never shared a common way of doing it in the country. So when a coach gets a team, all of a sudden he gets a team of players that are doing a lot of things differently. So you may not teach the basics. Now imagine he's got a week to prepare. You have to go down to the basics. Also the conditioning of the guys, all at different levels. And you can see the guys are all peaking at different levels also during the tournament. So now we brought out two blueprints, one on the basic skills, one on the conditioning. So we all condition the players all the same, from schools now, the school teams, national team, all the way through, all conditioned the same. So we took him through those things. We took him through our sevens program, showed him what we're doing in the sevens program, the guys we have contracted, what work they do, what the girls are doing. And the shortfall in our girls program, in our girls 50 program, you know, girls only start playing rugby when they're 16. It's almost too late. It's again, if you don't have sport in schools, you'll have this problem. And the women will never be at a level where they're competitive with the other countries. So we took him through that. We took him through our VUCA program. We do with the legends, you know, it's also a good program. Where they targeted township schools and they have their own tournament and there's youngsters selected out of there. We took him to our academies, our regional academies. We took him through our social responsibility stuff, the box of books, the 8 libraries we're currently supporting and funding. We haven't rolled out any last year. When one was considered, we had 130 million less money. So we could tell a lot of our projects, we couldn't deliver on what we promised. And it's just because the market perception was wrong. I must say, after the changes we made in December at our meeting, the market has responded positively. A lot of good news have come out of there. You will see in the next couple of weeks, there will be a couple of announcements on our jersey and other sponsors. So people of the market have come back. And we also spoke about the work we do with the Pedro Jackson Fund and Oxmart. So that was the gist of today's meeting. And of course, we took him to the World Cup, where we are now planning, because we're on track to deliver a document by the 1st of June
So are you
World Rugby?
To World Rugby. We have to deliver the document the 1st of June.
So are you confident that when that EPG report comes, as the Minister said, that SARU will this time you had 12 months way to get it right and get that scorecard?
I'm confident because we've got a system called footprint where we track it. Before it was, you think it's right, but now it's tracked on a weekly basis, and I can see the barometer where we are. And I don't think the Minister will be speaking positively about something. I think he knows something, but let's wait until he brings it out, and I'm not going to steal his thunder and talk about it.
Just on the World Cup bid, you said we're on track to deliver a document. Just can you elaborate on what else needs to be done? What you spoke to the Minister
so
about?
Obviously, once the Minister announced the EPG stuff and the figures are correct, the Minister will then give a letter of support. So while they allowed us to continue the bidding process, there was always a thing: you have to make sure you meet your EPG commitments. So that's the box that ticks everything, and then all the other documents will flow. But we got until the 1st of June. We're on track. The numbers look good. Well, the numbers really look good because we're saying out of the profits we would take 50%, and 50% we give to the government for the other causes of sport that don't enjoy a sponsor. I'm not talking about giving to cricket or to soccer, you get money, but everybody must benefit out of a Rugby World Cup from its profits. And we're saying it shouldn't just be rugby.
And also, Mr. Alexander, we know that Durban had to pull out of the hosting the Commonwealth Games. Is that also, like, from a financial perspective, just put the bid also on the back foot from government side?
I don't think so, but you see, this is different. But you want to see the profits that you can generate from here. It's far different to the Durban. The Durban was a big capital build. This is not such a big capital. We're using the existing stadiums. We're sitting the current asset. If we have to be hosting the bid in 2027, I think we'll face with problems because there will be major upgrades to stadia. We've got this little window. If we don't do it now, to host the bid will cost more in 2027. The Durban one was slightly different because it was a big building a village. So it was like building a little town. And that capital expense that needs, and it's not only one code of sport. You're talking about 27 other codes of sport, which is a major pressure on the system.
Mr. President, I also know that World Rugby want to see the women's team, even though the Women's World Cup won't necessarily be hosted in South Africa if the men's team comes here, that they want to see the women's team performing well. Are you confident that women's rugby is heading in the right
way? Look. Last year, I said, last year was a bad year for us, but we're putting a lot of effort, and with government, we want to make sure that the one thing that we can get in school sport is getting the women playing. We get them too late. You can't teach. They're not old. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. By the time you're 16, you already know what you want to do. And most of them are women already. So we need to get them younger if you want to be competitive. And they are good athletes. They're good athletes. Like I know in sevens, we're targeting athletics people. There are a lot of girls now who's not running anymore. We could fit perfectly into the rugby program, like the Americans. Baker and those guys are athletes. So we should be working closely with Athletics South Africa. And I have been speaking to Alex Kusana about identifying girls for us there that might not just make the Olympic team, because the Olympic team is very stringent, not in the first 6. But that speedster could be fit perfectly into the sevens program and work in our sevens program.
Mr. Alexander, obviously in the bid that you are going to put in on 1 June, you had to project what will be the outcome for the entire outcome for South Africa. What is that expectations at the World Cup of 2020?
There's so many legacies now. I'll have to go into the document, but there'll be a lot of legacies as far as club facilities. So we'll have to upgrade club facilities for where they go trade. There'll also be lots of gym equipment coming available which will live in the community. But also we want to use that to fast track our club and school programs. That must be the objective of us. You only as strong as your nursery. We want to broaden our base, and that's why if we can get schools playing, if we can broaden our base, and you have a good school system, a public school system, and not just the Model C schools that we're playing now. The kids are there. You go to the Eastern Cape and you walk around because rugby is the #1 sport. The kids are there, they just need the opportunity to play. And it's a pity they can't play it at schools. We see it at the schools where we introduce the libraries. And they play, and I'll show you facilities on my phone. I wouldn't dive on those fields, but little pebbles and rocks. But they're playing rugby and they're diving. They want to play. Kids want to play sport, man. They're with it. And that is the key for the money coming out there, is to pump it into grassroots development. If you've got a strong grassroots development program and strong feeder system, you've got success. And that's the problem with the Australians in the Super Rugby team. They got franchises in Melbourne and in Perth, but they got no school system.